Hi, it's Robert Jenkinson here. I'm just trialing a different way of supporting counsellors by recording short Zoom clips about interesting information that I come across rather than sending people articles which may take some time to read. I recognise that we can, as counsellors, get overload with our reading, and we're often writing reports and seeing clients. So here's my first go at this. And this article that I found is from the DAPAN's Standard. It's their newsletter for summer 2020 on page 2225. And here there's an interesting article by William Blakemore, and it's about learned behaviour and repeat drink driving. And he asked the interesting question, why would anyone who's been caught driving under the limit do this time and time again, despite courses or advice or legal restrictions? And in this article, he makes the point that usually the number of times a person is caught drink driving is usually the top of the iceberg, that they've done it many times before. And so he asked the question, how do we give these drivers insight into why they repeat these behaviors? Often, of course, drivers will say they will never drink drive again. And at the time, he points out that they usually mean it. If asked what they have learned from the experience of the drink driving process with being caught, the police, and so on, then if they're honest, what they will usually say is that what they've learned is I can drink and drive and nothing happens. I got home or went to the party and there was no incident. And so he points out in this article that this reinforces the behavior, that actually people drink drive more often. And so they get safety at home, and therefore they actually get reinforcement from behavior rather than sanctions. He points out that parts of the drivers were intention in their drink driving, in that they knew what they were doing was wrong. And yet that wasn't enough to actually stop them getting into the car and driving. Because usually they have belief systems which say, oh, it's not very far, it's only just around the corner, I'm not that influenced by the alcohol, I drive better with some alcohol. And as we recognize, there's a whole layer of cognitive distortions go along with that. But he also points out that this tension that they experience in knowing that what they're doing is wrong contributes to their keeping doing it, because when they do get home or go to the party, then they have this huge release of tension. And again, with that becomes a dopamine release, and that rewards the sense of safety and security that they now feel. And of course, the more risky that their behavior has been, like they may have seen a police checkpoint and got past it, then that heightened sense of tension can lead to a greater sense of relief when they've got home safely. This article also points out that many drink drivers have got long histories of doing so, and so may well be suffering from diminished capacity in their brain networks to actually make good decision making. And he also comments that many of the drink drivers who do this multiple times often have antisocial personality traits. The article points out that it's possible to view this behavior more as an addiction than somebody who is stupid or not learning, needs more consequences, i.e. longer prison sentences. It's more fruitful if we view it as an addiction, that despite valuing family, children, employment and freedom, drink drivers behave in ways that only benefit themselves, just like other addictions. So the article points out that the implications of this are that long-term help is needed to overcome the addictive urges to drink, because that is reinforced at the moment by feelings of success, freedom, and dopamine reward. A well-known figure in addictive circles, Doug Selman, has recently said, "It takes practice to become addicted and practice to become sober." So in our counselling, what does this mean for if we encounter a client who may well say that they often drink drive, but they're okay? Then the suggestion in this article is that in our counselling, it would be better to align more closely the client's values and significant relationships together, hence strengthening those neural networks that are based in the heart rather than simply emphasizing the threats to their lives that they've avoided. So good planning before starting to drive is done with other people rather than just themselves in their own head. So the suggestion here is that we look at the values that a person holds and whether that behavior supports that value. And if it doesn't, then bringing those closer together in our counselling will be more beneficial. Good luck.